Ever wondered about the intriguing story behind Aidan Kearney, also known as Turtleboy, and the whirlwind of drama that seems to follow him? So who is this chap, Aidan Kearney? Well, he's a bit of a character, to put it mildly. He's better known by his alias, Turtleboy, but it's not just his quirky nickname that's caught people's attention. No, it's his antics, his shenanigans, and his outright audacious behavior that have truly made him a standout figure. Take, for example, his arrest for witness tampering. Yes, you heard it right. This is a man who found himself serving a 60-day stint in protective custody, a consequence of his own actions. And this is the same Turtleboy who made headlines for his brazen attempt to manipulate the law to his own advantage. Picture this. He lied in court, and not just any lie, but a lie so bold that it led to the arrest of Kate from Masshole Reports. Now, if you're wondering why he'd go to such lengths, well, it seems that Turtleboy has a knack for stirring up trouble. But the story gets even more curious. Aidan Kearney, our notorious Turtleboy, went so far as to involve a girlfriend in his web of deceit. This woman, seemingly in search of fame, was convinced by Kearney to file a restraining order against Kate. And the motive behind this, not to keep Kate away from the girlfriend, but to keep her away from Turtleboy himself. Every time Turtleboy found himself in a courtroom, he ensured his so-called girlfriend was present, cleverly ensuring that Kate couldn't be. But when a court refused to grant Aidan a restraining order against Kate, it became clear that his manipulative tactics would not always succeed. But that's just the beginning of the scandalous tale of Aidan Kearney and his notorious antics. Did you know that Aidan Kearney even involved his girlfriend in a cunning plot to keep Kate at bay? This is where our story takes a turn towards the absurd. Aidan Kearney, also known as Turtleboy, wasn't content to merely spread falsehoods about Kate from Masshole Reports. Oh no, he took it a step further, embroiling his fame-hungry girlfriend in a scheme that would make even the most seasoned soap opera writers shake their heads in disbelief. Here's the rundown. Kearney, in his infinite wisdom, decided that the best way to keep Kate away from him was to have his girlfriend file a restraining order against her. But this wasn't a typical restraining order. This wasn't about personal safety or protection from harassment. This was about Kearney. This was about ensuring that Kate couldn't get close to him, couldn't expose his lies, his manipulations, his deceit. And how did he enforce this restraining order? By cleverly using his girlfriend's presence in court as a shield. Every time Kearney had a court appearance, his girlfriend was there, acting as a physical barrier to keep Kate out of the courtroom, to keep her away from the proceedings. It was a ploy, a ruse, a strategy as clever as it was despicable. But here's the kicker. The court didn't buy it. They saw through Kearney's machinations, his games, his underhanded tactics. They refused to grant the restraining order against Kate. They weren't fooled by this convoluted plot, this attempt to silence Kate, to keep her from unveiling the truth about Aidan Kearney, about Turtleboy. However, the court didn't fall for Aidan Kearney's schemes and refused to grant a restraining order against Kate. It was a victory for justice, a triumph for truth, a slap in the face for Aidan Kearney. But as we'll see, this wasn't the end of the story. Oh no. It was just the beginning of a saga that would take even darker, more disturbing turns. Stay tuned, folks. This tale is far from over. What happens when a man fears the truth? He resorts to lies. And that's exactly what Aidan Kearney did. Let's delve into the labyrinth of lies spun by Aidan Kearney, also known as Turtleboy. When the truth became too harsh to bear, he sought refuge in fabrications, creating an alternate reality on his blog. But what was he so afraid of? The answer is simple. The truth about himself as revealed by Kate from Masshole Reports. Kearney's fear was not unfounded. He had a former employee who was privy to his secrets, someone who had seen behind the curtain. This employee was on the verge of speaking to Kate, bringing the skeletons out of the closet. The thought of this happening sent chills down Kearney's spine, prompting him to take drastic measures. In his desperation, Kearney started to weave a web of lies. His blog became a stage where he performed his grand act of deception. He concocted stories, made up scenarios, anything to keep his audience from knowing the truth. He was like a puppet master, pulling the strings, controlling the narrative, trying to keep his secrets hidden in the shadows. But let's not forget the target of his fear, Kate. She was not just a bystander in this drama, she was the catalyst. She threatened to expose Kearney's true nature on the grand stage of YouTube, a platform of truth where lies are often laid bare. This was the fear that drove Kearney to lie, to manipulate, to deceive. Yet there's an inherent flaw in Kearney's plan. A lie can only go so far. It can only last so long. Eventually the truth finds its way out. It might take a while. It might require a fight, but it always surfaces, and when it does, it hits harder than any lie ever could. But as the saying goes, the truth always comes out. And when it does, it's a sight to behold. For Kearney, this was a lesson learned the hard way. And then things took a turn for the worse, with a shocking revelation. As if the preceding events hadn't been enough to raise eyebrows and drop jaws, Aidan Kearney, also known as Turtleboy, decided to push the envelope further. The unthinkable act that unfolded next left many reeling in disbelief and disgust. In a move that defied all sense of propriety, Kearney expressed his intention to distribute pictures of his own children in the bath. Yes, you heard it right. His own flesh and blood, innocent and oblivious to their father's intentions, were about to be used in a manner most would find deeply unsettling. Now one may wonder, why would a father even contemplate such a thing? What could possibly justify this act? That's where Kearney's defense comes in. According to him, he was the victim of a hacking attempt. He claimed that nefarious cyber criminals had infiltrated his system and were using his accounts to disseminate the pictures. However, many found this excuse to be rather flimsy and unconvincing. In an age where cybersecurity is paramount, it seemed unlikely that Kearney would be so lax as to allow hackers such easy access. Furthermore, given his track record of deception and manipulation, his claims were met with skepticism. People began to question if this was just another of Kearney's attempts to play the victim card, to shift blame and avoid responsibility for his actions. Was he using the alleged hacking as a smokescreen, a convenient excuse to cover up his own inappropriate actions? The controversy surrounding this incident was immense. It sparked a heated debate, with people on both sides of the fence arguing their points, but regardless of where one stood, there was a general consensus that this was a new low for Kearney. He had crossed a line that should never be crossed, and in doing so, had caused even more outrage and controversy. This was a new low for Aidan Kearney, causing even more outrage and controversy. His actions and the subsequent fallout further tarnished his reputation and left many questioning his motives and integrity. So, what happened next? What were the consequences of Aidan Kearney's actions? Well, let's take a moment to look at the aftermath, shall we? Aidan Kearney, or as he's infamously known, Turtleboy, found himself in a whirlwind of repercussions following his questionable actions. His antics did not just affect him personally, but also those around him and his once loyal online following. After being caught in his web of deception, Kearney faced significant public backlash. The court of public opinion, as you know, can be quite unforgiving, and in this case it was no different. Social media platforms were abuzz with discussions about his actions, with people voicing their dismay and calling for accountability. On the legal front, Kearney's actions led to his arrest for witness tampering, resulting in a 60-day stint in protective custody. This was a far cry from his usual antics of court manipulation and false restraining orders. The legal system had caught up to him, and he was forced to face the consequences of his actions. As for his reputation, it took a severe hit. The man who once held a certain level of influence in his online circles was now seen as a manipulator and a liar. His blog, once a source of entertainment for many, was now under scrutiny, with people questioning the authenticity of his stories. The mistrust was palpable, and his credibility was left in tatters. For those of you interested in delving deeper into the saga, there are videos available on Masshole that shed more light on Kearney's actions. They provide an eye-opening look into the lengths Kearney went to in order to protect his image and the price he had to pay for his deceit. Aidan Kearney's tale is a stark reminder that actions have consequences and the truth always finds a way to surface. Thanks for tuning in.